So we are now in Reno, Nevada. After a drive yesterday, about 280 miles.
It was a nice drive.
Yeah, and it really went smoothly. We hadn't been on the road in 4 weeks. And so now we've come to Sparks Marina and RV Resort. And it's in it's an urban setting, but there's a lake right over there. We're outside of Reno. We haven't really wandered out since we got here. We're gonna run a few errands, but this is a completely different setting.
Yes.
So we're now at the KOA Journey, West Wendover, Nevada. We're just about on the Utah border as we continue our trek along to our home base in Denver, Colorado. So I want to just kind of take a look at the range of RV campgrounds. I guess that's kind of what we'll call the universal description of these places that we park in, that, you know, not boondocking in national parks or wherever you guys boondock, because we don't. This disparity between what we'll call this type of location, which we refer to as a pit stop RV campground. You know, as you can see, there's really not much but dirt, little gravel, RV hookups, few trees, and some sad looking, you know, this little playground, which I'm sure doesn't get much use. A couple of really tragic looking dog parks, but it serves its purpose. In our case, yesterday we did a killer drive. We did 420 miles. Tomorrow we're going to do 411 miles. And we're going to do the same thing at our destination in Rawlins, Wyoming, where we're going tomorrow. We're staying an extra day. Hey guys, it's Tony with Rolling Help and Max, and we just wanted to take a quick break from our video to remind you to please subscribe to our channel. Rolling Help is dedicated to giving voice to food banks in small towns across this country. And whenever possible, we even give them financial support. But by subscribing to our channel, you'll be doing your part with just a quick click and a like and a subscribe. And eventually, hopefully, YouTube might just help put a little diesel in our tanks. So back to the video, but please subscribe as we are RVing with a purpose. Give a drive, but after these long drives, we definitely want a place to, you know, that's easy, pull through sites, sewer. This place only has 30 amp. Most KOAs have 50. I think they're going through a little upgrade, but the bottom line is you have the pit stop locations, private campgrounds that really are just a place to park, typically for the night. And then you have where we came from, the RV resorts. Ours was what you'd call very sterile, polished. Everything's asphalt and AstroTurf. Beautiful amenities, everything works. Comfortable parking, although pretty close, but it feels safe, it feels clean, and you know, we loved it. They're also expensive. I think it was about $56 a night with tax and everything. It was $120 for the 2 nights, and you can't, that's not sustainable. I know that some people stay at those places for a month at a time, but it was in an urban setting. The last thing I would call it is a campground, nor would I really call this a campground, but it serves its purpose. And then you have, in our world, you have Thousand Trails. So we've been staying at Thousand Trails parks for, geez, I think it was way back in late July that we weren't. This is the first time we've been in a non-Thousand Trails park in 2 months. Those parks, we've talked about it before. They're typically gravel or dirt roads throughout the park. The spaces can be tight. The amenities we like the amenities at most of the Thousand Trails parks. Pools, courts, sport courts, and so forth. But it really has a community. They have a community feel to them. We like the people that we meet at Thousand Trails parks, and they're set in camp-like locations. You don't find any in urban locations. So there's kind of 3 classifications of RV parks in our book. Now, I know that you guys are neighbor in Reno at the resort. He's a veteran, so he's able to stay in Air Force bases, military bases around the country for, I think he said $25 a night, full hookups. He loves it, and I would too, but thank you all for your service. I am not a veteran. I'm a dual citizen, so that's how I just came in on the tail end of Vietnam. And then, so you have boondockers, folks that are parking out in locations wherever you boondock. I am not we haven't boondocked once. Now, we have stayed in, there's a state park that we park at in just north of Denver, St. Vrain Park. We love it, but we haven't had much luck elsewhere, typically because of the length restrictions. Here's the rest of my crew. Somebody's getting exercise while I just flute around. Anyway, so the length restrictions has pretty much taken national and state parks out for the most part. We're 45 feet long. So these 3 classes, pit stops, resorts, and the Thousand Trails type locations, pure campgrounds, but with some amenities, hookups, and so forth. There's a big divide. I mean, take a look at this place versus where we just were. So where are you guys camping? You full-timers, where are you staying? We'd really like to get a discussion going about this, because we don't think there's any great long-term alternative economically to Thousand Trails, but maybe somebody else has another alternative.
Yeah, we're open to any suggestions.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's get the conversation going. Shed some light on this stuff, because then when you're planning your family vacay, not necessarily living full-time, but you would know where to go.
Yeah. All right. Have a great day, guys.
See you soon.
Thanks from Rolling Help.